Hey everyone, and welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are pulling back the curtain to meet the invisible manager that's running the show on your phone, your laptop, your tablet, pretty much everything. It's the secret boss you never even knew you had. So, let's dive in.
You know, when you're clicking away, typing, or swiping on your screen, it really feels like you're the one in control, right? But have you ever actually stopped to think about what's calling the shots behind the scenes? Who, or maybe what, is making all of that happen?
Well, I've got some news for you. As much as we all like to think we're the ones in the driver's seat, we're not. There's something else running the entire operation from the inside. So, it's time to meet the real boss of your machine, the operating system. You've probably heard it called the OS. This is the master software, the big kahuna that manages literally everything. Okay, so what's its main job? Well, think of the OS as an essential bridge. It stands right in the middle, connecting you, the user, with the physical hardware, the chips and wires, and all the apps you want to run. Without that bridge, none of them could talk to each other, and your fancy device would just be a paperweight.
And just like any good boss, the OS handles the absolute most fundamental tasks. It's in charge from the second you hit that power button to the moment it all goes dark. It has the final say on everything.
So to boil it all down, the operating system is the central manager for every single piece of hardware and every single app on your computer. It's the foundation that everything else is built on top of. So, how does this boss even talk to us? Well, every good manager needs a solid communications department, right? For the OS, that's something called the user interface, or UI for short. The UI is basically everything you can see and interact with. We're talking about the windows, all those icons on your desktop, the menus, even your little mouse pointer. It's a visual language that's designed to let a human, you, tell the computer what to do without having to learn a single line of code. And this right here shows you just how critical that UI really is. On the left, you've got the easy way. You just click a folder. It's simple, it's intuitive. But on the right, yeah, that's kind of what you might have to do without a modern UI. Typing out these complex, clunky commands for every little thing. Really makes you appreciate that comms department, doesn't it?
But a great boss does way more than just communicate. They have to be an absolute master at juggling, and the OS is no different. Which brings us to the magic trick we all know is multitasking. Just think about what you're probably doing on your computer right now. You might have a web browser open, maybe some music playing in the background, a chat window off to the side. It's the OS that makes it possible to do all of that at once, and to make it feel totally seamless.
So how in the world does it pull off this incredible juggling act? It really comes down to two key tricks. First, memory allocation. The OS gives each app its own little chunk of the computer's memory, its RAM, so they don't step on each other's toes and cause a crash. And second, rapid switching. It tells the computer's brain, the processor, to switch its focus between all your apps thousands of times a second. It happens so fast that it creates this perfect illusion that everything is running at the exact same time. It's pretty amazing.
Okay, so the boss can talk to us and it can juggle a million tasks at once. But what about all the other stuff plugged into the computer? The printers, the keyboards, the cameras? For that, the OS has its own dedicated translation team.
And this is where drivers come into play. See, every piece of hardware, whether it's your mouse or a fancy new graphics card, speaks its own unique language. A driver is just a tiny piece of software that acts as a perfect translator, allowing the OS to understand and control that specific device.
And here's why this really matters to you. Keeping those drivers up to date is so important. Updates often fix bugs, they can improve performance, and they patch up security holes. Basically, it makes sure all your gear plays nice and stays safe under the boss's watch.
All right, our final stop on this tour is the records room. This is the department in charge of organization and security. The OS, it turns out, is also your own personal digital filing clerk, keeping everything neat, tidy, and locked down. Now, this department has two main gigs. On one side, you've got user management. That's all about your account, your password, and who gets to see what. And on the other side, you've got file management, which is all about how your documents are named, saved, and organized into all those folders. What this really means is that the OS creates a logical system for all your data. It's what keeps your stuff separate from your brother's stuff on the family computer. It protects sensitive files, and it gives you the power to organize everything in a way that actually makes sense. Without it, your computer would just be a chaotic digital mess. All right, we've done the full tour. We've seen all the departments. Now it's time for the boss's final performance review.
Let's do a quick recap of the most critical jobs the operating system is doing for you every single second. So let's just run through it. Your OS is your communicator, thanks to the UI. It's your master juggler, handling multitasking. It's your universal translator for all your hardware. It's your personal file clerk, and it's your security guard. It's doing all of these things all at once, all the time.
And you know the most incredible part of all of this? All of these insanely complex and vital jobs are being managed by one single brilliant piece of software.
And it's so important to remember this. Without the operating system, without the boss, your smartphone, your laptop, it's really nothing more than an expensive, lifeless box of wires and plastic. The OS is what actually breathes life into it.
So I'll leave you with this question to think about. Now that you've met the boss and you get what it's doing for you behind the scenes every day, just take a second and imagine what your digital life would actually look like without it.